everybody. Welcome to Live at 5 on Monday, June the 13th. It's been a long 24
Is this
hours.
Tony? Is this Tony Monday? Is that what's happening?
It's Tony Monday.
Let's we're a little. Let's just. Okay, good. I feel better. I was feeling a little queasy.
Well, I don't know. I think I'm feeling a bit queasy.
Did you get a full night's sleep, Imogen? I think I left you. I think I last saw you around 3:40.
I left 3:40 a.m.
Yeah,
I then pulled the ripcord and went home.
I pulled the ripcord.
Don't you have that expression?
I got home at 4.
I got home at 4.
Yeah, I was kind of kicked out of that party. Not kicked out, but it was kind of ending.
It was emptying out.
It was emptying out.
It was a good party.
Yeah.
It was very
It was a great party. Bravo
Rick.
to Rick Miramontes and the O&M. What is it?
DKMC.
DKOMCK. Rick, we love
thanks for the party.
Thanks for having another awesome party,
Yeah,
and happy Tony Monday, everybody.
Happy Tony Monday.
So, what a night! Let's.
Should we start with a good bit? Massive ratings. I know you're talking. We've got special guest today, Julie James.
Julie James from SiriusXM.
Dissecting the whole Tony night. So
On
I think
Broadway.
just headline: Great night for Broadway. 8.7 million viewers, the highest since 2001, up from 6.5 million last year, which was the least watched Broadway.
Now this is
ever.
just because of Hamilton.
Yeah, well, I think Corden as well.
Yes, but I don't know. It's all about the big show because literally it's the
Yeah.
biggest rating since the producers. And I remember that year everybody just wanted to get a glimpse of the producers.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's super exciting.
Super exciting.
But then next year it's going to go down if there's not another Hamilton, and then we're going to be talking about how the ratings are going down, and then we're going to be upset, and then in 2024 there'll be another Hamilton, and we'll be like, oh, it was great again, and I don't know. Don't get emotional about the ratings.
No.
All
Well,
I'm
there we
saying.
are. That's all.
They're just ratings.
I thought my father was terribly good on the tambourine last night.
Okay.
It was
Your dad
amazing.
was
He
such a good
was
sport.
amazing.
He was. There was a
was
lot
a
of. There was a lot of good.
Yeah.
The dad of Broadway.com. I like to think of him a lot of, or at least of our team. There's a lot of good moments
Yeah,
for
there
him
were a lot
last
of
night.
good
It was. He was really.
Um,
Did he have fun playing the tambourine?
Yeah,
Did he have to learn
so.
it for the bit? Or?
I think so. But the best bit was he turned up in the press room where I was, the print room.
Yeah.
And I was waiting to ask a question, and I was going to ask a question at the end because he was talking about his very important charity work, etc. That's why.
Did he see where you were in the room?
No, he didn't because it was all dark, so he couldn't see.
Did he know you were in the room?
No, I mean he didn't know I was in the exact room.
Okay.
So I was going to try and ask a question, and everyone was asking me serious questions. So I was waiting to the end, and I could ask them a question about the tambourine, and they didn't call on me.
So
and I would have had the whole of the room in absolute stitches, including Dad, and I would have lightened up the moment because we need to get to this.
Yeah. So.
Because the room where I was in was not happy.
The room where it didn't happen.
Was the room where it didn't happen.
Let's talk about this. So we gave everyone a real peek over the last month about in the Tony Beat series about what it's like to be a journalist, I think, in this world a little bit. Tony Night was, for us as journalists, sort of a catastrophe.
It was so disorganized.
We were in different rooms.
We were in different rooms. So I was in the print room. Now, as an editor of a website and in modern media, the one thing you need working is the internet. For the third year in a row, I am not joking, for the third year in a row, we had no internet.
And we were in the basement. We're in the basement.
I am the senior editor of Broadway.com. It is my job to edit the website. There are a great team here, back here. My job to look at what they're doing, edit them, write news stories, write tweets, update. No Wi-Fi. It was intermittent.
Nothing.
And it's horrific. And you know what was really embarrassing is that I'm very proud of Broadway. I love what we do. But there is a lot of different media there, obviously, because of Hamilton this year. Yeah. And you want to put on a good show.
Right.
There is no way that at the Oscars or the Grammys, which the Tonys are trying to be up there with, that they would not have internet reception. It was appallingly badly organised.
And
so
also,
angry.
so you were in that room where people came on stage and spoke. And then I was in a room with Beth where people come and we usually interview the winners. And we sat there for 3 hours waiting. No one came in a 3. We watched the entire Tonys. It was a 3-hour stretch. Nobody came in. We only got 2 actors in that room.
But I was speaking to somebody at the BBC.
Yeah.
And they had a special room because they were a big outside broadcaster. Same problem.
Same problem.
So it was so badly organised.
It was very strange.
Just horrific. But I have to say the Wi-Fi thing. I mean, I don't even. What's the point of me even going?
So this brings me back to why I appreciate Rick Miramontes' party.
Yeah.
Because we hit a point at like 1:30 in the morning where I said, I just need a cocktail.
Yeah.
And I had 3. And then I went home.
Yeah.
And I actually got in pretty early today.
Yeah.
So what else is in the news?
All right. Okay.
We're done with our rant. Soapbox. We're getting off the soapbox.
We need to just have a look at the Broadway grosses because Caitlin, our social media manager, has done the best art for the Broadway grosses that you've ever seen. It's just spectacular. That's leading with Hamilton.
So I'm going to talk about these things with Julie.
Oh, you're talking with Julie.
Yeah. So
all right. Jake Gyllenhaal. Oh my word.
Oh my God, that was fun.
New crush. Seriously.
So when you see the Tonys live, which I never get to do, you see all these bits they do during commercial breaks, and I never get to see them, but we got to see one.
We got to see one. So this was put on Facebook Live by Sean Hayes.
Thank you, Sean Hayes.
Sean Hayes, Jake Gyllenhaal, and James Corden doing commercial karaoke, and they're singing along to A Whole New World from Aladdin. And Jake Gyllenhaal is playing Aladdin, and it's just...
And his voice sounded dreamy.
Epic. And he keeps teasing us, Jake Gyllenhaal, because he made his musical theatre debut last year at City Centre. He's coming back to do One Night Only again there.
Yeah.
When are you coming to Broadway, Jake Gyllenhaal?
In a musical.
And you could hear the Beacon Theatre just gasp when they heard his voice. It's a really special moment.
Swoon. Hashtag swoon.
Joe Morton one-on-one, that's up on the site. We're now looking at Off-Broadway. We're covering all sorts of other stuff. We've moved on. I mean, the Tonys were fun. We've moved on. Hot liaison.
Liz Schreiber and Janet McTeer. I'm excited for this. That's a sexy poster and a little sexy little video. We don't always run these little videos. Sometimes shows give us videos and say, do you want that video? But I said, we want that one. Look at that.
Hot. H-O-T. The Illusionists, holiday season at the Lumpfontaine.
It's like a new show.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
still magic. Magicians.
Yeah.
I want to talk about this. There was this video of obviously there's horrible tragedy in Orlando. Everybody's been following it. There was a really beautiful video. Was it from Good Morning America?
Yeah, I think it was, yes.
Of the New York City Gay Men's Chorus singing. I just clicked on it on Facebook because I just wanted to see this beautiful video. And then they were singing Light from, or I like to call it Let There Be Light, from Next to Normal, the finale song. And it's a really beautiful video. So
have a look at that.
Yeah.
Then odds and ends today, just a couple of things. Moana, that Disney film that Lin-Manuel Miranda has scored. There's a teaser trailer of that.
That premiered.
And there's also a teaser of Lin on Difficult People, so that's fun.
Right. Are you done? Is there anything else you want to get off your chest?
I'm just, if you don't have internet, how can you cover anything anymore in 2016?
We got that. Okay. Thank you, Imogen Lloyd Webber. Ladies and gentlemen, Julie J. Hi,
Julie!
Everybody! All right, so give me this. Am I going to be able to see this?
Yeah.
We're having technical issues with our comments. Julie, how are you? Welcome.
Thank you.
So happy to see you.
I'm so thrilled to be here.
Julie is one of my favorite red carpet colleagues, friends. You know, there's certain people that you like seeing, you like running into on the beat.
Yeah.
And Julie is one of those people. And I just want to share with everybody that so Julie runs, what do you call it, programs?
I'm the program director of SiriusXM's On Broadway channel.
Right.
And what that means is I program all the music and the content. I produce the shows and the hosts, Seth Rudetsky, Christine Petty, John Tartaglia. And then, of course, I host my own show.
Yeah, so she has a show called Broadway Names with Julie James. And I first discovered this lady as a voice because I was in the car one day. Do you guys listen to the On Broadway channel? You must.
Come on.
And I heard her do an interview, and I was like, who is she? She's good. Who is this lady? And then I ran into you, and you were like, I'm Julie James. And I was like, oh my God, face came together with voice.
Yes.
And so, yeah, it's kind of
BFFs ever since.
It's a little show people-ish, like similar to Show People, Broadway Names. Like, it's sort of a longer form.
Yeah.
Obviously, you mix in music and stuff like that. And do you love doing that?
I love it. I love it. And sometimes we get to do, like, really epic things, like we produced this big town hall event at the Richard Rogers.
That was amazing.
With all of the Tony nominees, both the cast and the creatives. So putting them
of Hamilton
on stage at the Richard Rogers for SiriusXM was this hosted by Anderson Cooper. And so I was more of the behind the scenes person producing that. And you do that too. You are also producing stuff and hosting stuff. So very similar.
Yeah. Okay, Alex listens to you every day.
Yay!
Jeffrey said hi.
Hi.
Jill said I rock. Thank you. I'm sorry, that's not about you, Julie.
Well.
So tell me about you also do the opera channel, right?
Yeah, the Metropolitan Opera.
Broadway and
channel.
opera.
Yeah.
So what is Tony night like for you, Julie James? How does that go? I know she's running on a couple hours of sleep, everybody. I had more sleep than her. So sort of lay out it's, like I said, we sort of offer this behind the scenes look at what we do here. What is Tony night?
proud to be on the first
episode
of the Tony
the first
Beat.
episode of the Tony Beat. So, because I got to go on with her on the
he was my special guest,
which I've never done before, and it was super fun.
Tony nomination
I've always been told I had a voice for radio. So what is Tony
Better
night
than
like?
a face for radio.
What is Tony night like for you?
The night is crazy. I'm sure it's very similar to what you guys are going through. But for me, the tough part of that day is that I mean, like, tear wipe, champagne problems. But it starts really early because I like to go to the dress rehearsal, the final dress rehearsal that morning, which usually starts at 8:30 or 9. And you watch the entire show. And for me, I kind of plan the broadcast that we're going to do. We do a live broadcast on SiriusXM. And so I use the dress rehearsal to plan that.
Give me an example of that. Like,
like when Bright Star is performing, we're playing the same song that they're performing. And when Color Purple, when Cynthia Erivo wins, we play I'm Here. And then I fold in the red carpet clips. We turn those around. So anyway, so dress rehearsal.
Dress rehearsal really
notes,
early.
Notes,
what time
notes.
does that start?
That's like 8:30 or 9.
Ooh,
then it also it ended late this year, and it was at the Beacon, so you've got further to go. And to get where you're going, and then you and so I got to get glamorous, and then I got to get back uptown to the Beacon and hit the carpet, which, you know, that's always an adventure. It looks very glamorous,
it's stressful.
But it's
super stressful.
But it all has a great outcome. And then
so you did that, and you're recording audio.
I'm recording all that audio, and then someone is there, like, sending as much as they can back to the studio from right there on the
site.
They
start editing your
so
interviews?
that they can start editing right away, and that by the time we start broadcasting live at like 7:45, and so those red carpet clips can be incorporated into the show right away.
Do you start? Do you like doing live?
I mean, I love doing live.
You don't
it's
do
the
that
best.
often.
Yeah, we don't really, you know, we don't break out for live that with Tony nominations, you know, important times, but a lot of the other times we are kind of a little bit ahead, not because we want it to be timely and fresh and be able to talk about like what's going on, and I do news minutes throughout the day, Broadway Buzz, which you guys also have. So yeah, we want
Shuffle Along also has a song called Broadway Buzz.
Yep.
It's just Broadway Buzz everywhere. So what'd you think of the Tonys? And she was at the party last night too, the same party. I didn't sleep, and then was on Good Day New York today. She's been everywhere.
This morning, like super early TV show.
How was the Tonys for you?
I thought it was a great show. I am really glad that they chose to acknowledge the Orlando events right at the top. And
they acknowledged it in a really great way.
Really great, sincere, but also like, I thought the tone of it was exactly right. Like now we're gonna get on with what theater does, which is it has the power to transport, it has the power to heal, and sometimes, you know, it reminded me of like Brian Stokes Mitchell used to talk about like going back to Kiss Me Kate after 9/11, and like I feel like it's the same kind of thing. He was like, what can this frothy comedy, you know, how can we do this like comedy shticky thing right after 9/11? But they found that audiences responded to it even more because they needed that. And I feel like the Tonys did the right thing by continuing with the show and keeping the tone just right. And I thought Corden killed it as a host.
We love him.
I loved the opening number. I loved all of the nominees, the musical nominees being on stage together in the. Did
you notice? I know you also went and interviewed him at the Beacon. I heard it on the radio.
Ew.
Did you notice he was like super nervous?
Yeah.
Did you get that vibe? Normally when you interview the host, they're like so pumped. And
they're amped.
I'm gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
And he's very like.
He was kind of deer in the headlights.
I think he was nervous about the opening number too, specifically.
And I know we both talked to him during Into the Woods. That was the first time I had ever talked with him, and it was like completely different. He definitely seemed like, I want this to be great. But you know, one of the things that I heard him say that I thought was really great was he wanted to enjoy it. I think he said that in your interview. He wanted to be in the moment, and he wanted to be able to look back and say that's something I enjoyed doing, and I thought that was really great. And I hope that he feels that way because I thought he did so excellent.
So talking about the Orlando tragedy and how it sort of worked into the show, it did come up in some speeches, and we actually did a poll on the site of people's favorite speeches, and these are the results. Number 3 was Renee Elise Goldsberry, who was just I'm going to get to this. Hold on.
Okay.
Number 2 was Frank Langella.
That was
really
amazing.
did that. I mean, that was sort of a very direct address of that. That was sort of the moment, I feel like, where it was kind of like, now we're going to talk about this.
Yeah.
And then number 1 was Lin-Manuel Miranda, who did, what was that, a sonnet? Is that what those are called?
A sonnet.
A sonnet. A beautiful sonnet. But all 3 of these, please be emotional when you win a Tony. Don't you know when when you watch the Tony Awards, you want some haven't you been surprised sometimes when you watch it and maybe even people you love get up and then they're just kind of like, I mean, maybe they're deer in headlights, but sometimes people are just kind of like not emotional, and I'm like, can you give me some tears, please?
Yeah.
I always suggest tears. I recommend tears, and if you want to win a poll, give us some high emotions.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, like Zachary Levi was crying over the nomination. Like that, he cried in my interview and several others. So I'm like, can we please get Zachary Levi like a trophy that just carry around so that we can see the sincere tears of joy and thankfulness.
So do you agree with those speeches or any other moments that sort of stood out for you, or who else was great?
I mean, I have to say that I was biting my nails over the leading actor category.
Oh my God.
And when Leslie won, that was a moment. And I love Danny Burstein so dearly. I don't know that there's a better person on the planet.
I know.
But I really felt that it was Leslie's time. You know, sometimes it's about the time and the role, and it's not because one is necessarily better than the other, right?
Right.
It's just like, this is the time. And I do have to say that I was surprised that Hamilton ended up walking away with as many as they did, not because they're not deserving in the juggernaut that they
11.
11.
The record was 12, so they did not.
I don't know. I thought that there could be some of the other creative awards that might have gone another way. There was some buzz around town about some of the creative awards. Choreography, for
I knew
instance.
Blankenbuehler was going to win choreography.
I kind of had a feeling he would pull it out.
Jill is asking if you'll ever get tears from me.
No. What
Yeah.
makes you emotional, Paul?
I got emotional today watching that gay men, the New York City gay men's chorus. That got me emotional.
Yeah.
So in my office alone, you didn't see that. And then I saw something on my Facebook feed make me emotional. So then I saw like some Hillary Clinton thing about that.
Yeah.
I got emotional.
Maybe you need to have a cam mounted on your desk to just like capture these moments when you're playing yourself.
Let's not. And then the other thing was we do another poll of people's favorite performances. What was your favorite performance if you had to just pick one? It's hard, I know.
Gosh, they were all okay. Here's the thing. I will answer your question, but I started thinking at Dress about how it has to be a great Tony's show because it's made of all these great shows. Like that was what was remarkable about this season of Broadway was we had the most amazing shows.
Yeah, there was
on
no
Broadway.
number coming up. We were like, oh, I'm gonna go to the bathroom now. Okay.
Exactly.
There was no number you're not looking forward to watching.
Right.
Yeah.
Or, you know, what's also interesting is sometimes the way a number comes across on television is not the way that it is in the theater. Like, okay, last season, Gigi looked really amazing on the Tonys. But it wasn't my favorite in the theater. So sometimes it can work different ways. TV changes it, you know.
Yes,
so,
absolutely.
So for that's really hard because there was something about all of them that I really loved. I will say, at the risk of just saying Hamilton again, drinking game. I hope the drinking game is still going on 24 hours later. But I liked that they chose Yorktown.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
Because that was a very interesting choice. Everybody was wondering what can they do that will show, you know, because we have so many nominees to showcase, and so like
you definitely got a vibe of what the show is like.
Right, like I felt like we got a deep glimpse, like everybody's like Alexander Hamilton, and they did that on the Grammys, and that's fine. It's kind of the more basic. Yeah. And this was like the more in-depth choice.
Yeah.
Cut to. How great was it that they did Schuyler Sisters at the end? Yeah. You know, and they were not in costume, and they were just kind of partying it up. Yeah. And it gave the women...
I didn't see that part yet.
And Renee a chance to shine.
I didn't see the end.
And Renee was wearing a different dress than on the red carpet.
People swap their dresses out.
How many dresses
did Cynthia Erivo swap her dress out before the parties? I think she did. So Hamilton came in number 2 in the poll. Okay. Of people's favorite numbers. Number 3 was Waitress, which I knew was going to be. It's so funny. Somebody said, God, what are they going to do from Waitress? And I said, they're going to do opening doors, opening up, and then she's going to go, and then Jessie Miller's going to do the, you know.
Yeah. But it was great the way they segued Sarah Bareilles starting that song.
Did you like that?
And
do you think people are going to go to the theater expecting the piano to roll out?
Okay, it's already happened because I was going to #Glasshouse Tavern, and that's right by Waitress.
Eatery,
drinkery. And find me there at any given time.
Literally.
And I was on my way in, and it's right next to the Brooks Atkinson where Waitress is playing, and I overheard in New York, Oh, that's the one that Sarah Bareilles is in.
Sarah Bareilles.
So Sarah Bareilles is not how you say Bareassless. That's not how you say her name, and she's not in the show.
No.
So I was like, oh, is this going to confuse people even more that they're going to think that she's in the show?
Well, Steve Martin was in the Bright Star number, but he is sometimes in the show.
Right. Well, he does the
Does
entr'acte. He sometimes shows up and
confusing.
does the. So they come back with this great band moment in Act 2 at the opening of Act 2, and Steve Martin has a few times come out and played that number with them.
So the number one favorite performance was Color Purple. Because people love the big numbers, right?
Well, you get to go to church in the beginning. They took you to church.
Yeah, the church lady.
And then you get this astounding moment from this phenom known as Cynthia Erivo, who then ends up winning, which, I mean, there was no suspense for me on that.
No. There were actually no surprises for me the entire night.
Yeah.
To be honest. Like I actually saw an article on Variety I think it was Variety, and it said 5 biggest surprises of the night. And I clicked on it and I was like, yeah, none of those were surprises.
Yeah. That's just clickbait, people.
Clickbait, exactly.
Call it what it is.
Okay, so we have to go in a minute because we've been on too long already.
No.
But new season. What are you looking forward to this fall?
Dear Evan Hansen.
You already saw it, didn't you?
Yeah,
Who are you excited to see it on Broadway?
Broadway.
Okay. Who are you excited to have on Broadway names?
Ben Platt. He's so incredible. What a young, phenomenal talent.
Yeah.
He's just, beyond his years in his...
It's a shockingly sophisticated and epic performance.
It's so really layered. It's that's going to be a remarkable. When I saw it off Broadway, I was like, can we just give him the 2017 Tony now?
Well, that's going to be interesting. There's a lot of good performances coming up.
It always is.
You know what I'm looking forward to?
What?
I mean, in addition to seeing Ben Platt again, don't get me wrong. I'm looking forward to the falsettos, which is not called the falsettos. Just like Barbra Streisand called it the chorus line. Did you notice that? And for her little behind, she called it the chorus line. Marvin Hamel says the chorus line. It's not called that. It's a chorus line. And they called it that because they wanted it in the top of the ABCs.
Oh,
when that used to matter.
Right, of course.
But anyway, falsettos and Christian Borle.
One of my all-time favorite shows.
And then Christian Borle has 2 leading. I don't know, that Tony race next year.
He has... he'll probably be nominated for falsettos, and he'll probably be nominated for Charlie.
And then you know who else is awesome?
Who?
Corey Cott in the bandstand.
Oh.
That is called the bandstand, by the way. That one is. They originally called it bandstand. I think everyone thought it was about American Bandstand. It's not. Did you see that show?
I didn't.
Oh, so good. So good.
Anyway, New Jersey.
But we gotta go. We can talk forever. I can talk forever to her. Julie James, people can find you on SiriusXM. What channel is it?
SiriusXM on Broadway channel 72. You can also get a free trial. We have an app that is really ridiculously amazing.
Oh yeah, you can have your own programming on the app.
You can custom mix the channel to your taste, and you can listen to stuff on demand.
She taught me how to do that. I was like, I don't know how to do that, and she taught me. Yeah.
And
what is Broadway Names on?
Broadway Names is on 4 times a week in all the various time zones. Cool. So you can check that out. And I'm on Insta and Twitter at Julie_James. And I'm Snapchatting. This is a really good time for the Snapchat because the Tony Awards were off the chain. Telling ya. Julie James NYC on Snapchat.
All right. NYC. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for watching, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow at 5 o'clock. Bye. Woo.